Hello everyone! Today I'm just doing a short tutorial for you about how I had stamped and colored with Copics on this tea towel. I had gotten a lot of emails and comments asking how I had done that, so I thought I'd show you that today. I picked up these tea towels at Target. They have some texture to them, but they're pretty thin and they take a stamped image pretty well. I also picked up these flour sack towels. I don't know if you're familiar with them at all, but they're great for drying glassware because they don't leave lint or anything on your glasses, and they're a tighter weave and a little smoother, so they would be a great option too. You don't want to get anything that's fuzzy because obviously it's much harder to color and it wouldn't work quite as well. So what I do is I just shake this out, and I'm using the center panel of my tea towel to kind of give me a guideline of where I want to stamp. I also have a piece of white cardboard underneath because your ink will bleed through a bit and you don't want to ruin either the other end of your towel or your anything you might have underneath. And I'm just using my Memento. It's a fade resistant dye ink, so it's good for this. And if you were going to wash the towel, I wouldn't recommend that these be used often. They're more of a decorative type of tea towel, but they make a great gift. I'm just going to stamp this out on paper to make sure I've got a nice coat. Okay, so then I'm just going to kind of eyeball where I want it and center it. This stamp was actually put on this wood block a little crooked, so I have to fiddle with it a bit. And you just want to push it down, hold it down nice and flat for a few seconds, make sure all the ink gets put down. I also have, and this stamp is Cherries and Colander by Karen Lockhart, along with the little mini cherries, which I love. And again, I'm inking these up, and I thought it would be fun just to put a few cherries around my image. And there's the stamped part of that. And then I basically color like I would on paper. I've picked 3 colors for my cherries, my darkest color being R29, my middle tone being R22, and then R20 being my lightest. And then the colander I'm doing in green, which will be G24 and G20. And then I have E25 for my stems. And you basically just go in, you want to use the brush end, and you're almost kind of tapping. It's a little different than paper. You're just kind of tapping the color in. And because there's a weave, you kind of have to really use the pointy end of your marker. And you don't want to press down and leave your marker sitting there because the ink, the fabric will pick it up and soak it in. So you're just kind of tapping your color. So just tapping the color in. Really not hard, it's just a matter of keeping your marker moving. So then I'm going to take my middle tone and I'm going to go right over and next to what I've already done, just like I was coloring on paper. Again, just kind of tapping. Your marker. I'm going to take my lightest and finish the cherries out. And you can always reference back to your stamp if you're having a little trouble. Maybe the ink didn't soak all the way through and you're trying to wonder where the border line is. But I'm just going in here and finishing these up. And I see a couple that I missed. So I'm going to go back and color these. And just add the lightest color. Again, you're almost kind of tapping. And I'm going to do a couple of these outside cherries just to show you they're a little larger. But I'm taking my darker, sorry for my dogs. If you've followed any of my tutorials, you know they always have to speak during my video. And they have to be near me at all times, so I can't lock them away. And that's how I would do the smaller cherries. And again, you can really see the shading. It's not dramatic, but it's enough to give the image a little dimension. And again, just using the dark color first, going in with the medium, and really using just that teeny pointy brush end and filling in. And then I would take my darker green and do the same thing with the leaves. And this is G24 and then G20 to just kind of highlight them a little bit. And my colander, I was thinking about doing a green, but now I'm not sure. But anyway, we'll just move on to the leaves for right now. And then taking my lightest color, and again, just kind of dabbing it on over that darker color. Kind of filling in a few of these spots here. And that's would be how I would color my cherries and highlight them. Okay, I've decided to change up my colors a little bit for my colander, and I'm going to work with wire 21 and wire 20. And that's the great thing about doing your images, you can change your mind. And again, I'm taking my darkest color and working it in to my image. And I'm going to have kind of the center area of my colander be highlighted the lightest. No particular reason, just how I want my image to look today. And I want it to have some dimension, so. And then I'm just going to go. Gotta love having my dogs bark. Anyways, as I was saying, I'm just going in here and tapping the color. And obviously you're not going to work in circles like you would on paper. This is a little bit different of a technique as far as coloring because you really have to kind of tap. And the blending, of course, is not as precise. A little bit more forgiving, I guess. Let me go back in with my darker color and just kind of give this a little bit more highlights along the sides and up here. And that's how I would do my image. And then when I'm done, I use my heat gun and I just blasted it for, 30 to 50 seconds just to really set the ink and dry the ink. And of course I would finish this, and I will finish this. But there you have it. So really not a hard technique. As long as you find a fabric that will accept a stamped image pretty well. Certainly not fuzzy. and same kind of technique you would use with the Copics. So really a fun way to make a gift.